The Art Lewis Show. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we'll have open phones for you. And at 11 o'clock, we're going to learn about the Carleton High School Theater. But for this hour, we're going to spend time talking about leadership and leadership programs, particularly the Bay Leadership Group. We're going to do that with a couple of guests this morning. First of all, returning for another visit, she is the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce President and CEO, and she is our biggest fan, we think, Megan Saman.
Good morning, Art, and you are correct. I'm a huge fan. That's true.
Been since I don't know, it's been decades.
It has been.
Anyway, also with her this morning is the Leadership Bay County Marketing Chair, and she is Emily Woodruff. Emily, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Emily, you are with
Serenas Johnson Construction.
Give them that plug.
Yeah. We're a commercial general contractor in Bay City. Excited to be here. Thanks for having us.
And well known as philanthropic, as an organization, as a corporate citizen, you will.
Yeah.
Because, we do, every year we do a radiothon for the Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan, and that name is prominently brought forward by Dan Streeter and the group.
Mm-hmm.
You've been a supporter of them for a long time.
Yep, we are their sole contractor. We do all of the work at both locations in Saginaw and Bay City. We've been a partner with them it's been decades, and we're really proud of it and honored to be that.
Well, they're proud of it, too. I can tell you that. For sure. And Megan, you have been president and CEO of the Bay Area Chamber for
about 4 years now.
4 years now?
Yeah.
Came out of the medical world.
It's been fun. I've been a chamber volunteer for over 20 years.
Yeah,
and
you were associated with them for a long time.
Yeah, actually, I graduated Leadership Bay County 20 years ago this year.
So let's talk about that just for a couple of minutes here in terms of an overview. Leadership Bay County, and there are these leadership programs in Saginaw and Midland and in the region. Mm-hmm. There's a regional one. What was when they were established, what was the purpose of leadership programs?
The purpose was to engage different community leaders, business, nonprofit, with what happens in our community and expose them to different monthly sessions that focus on different areas of our community that impacts them and really show them a behind-the-scenes look and have dialogue about impacts of whether it's transportation, economic development, health and human services, agribusiness, government, education, arts and culture, all these important areas and topics in our community, and then get a way for our community leaders to understand how they can have impact to improve our community, how they can have a voice to be able to input their thoughts and ideas and really show how things happen and move our community forward. And we really wanted to invite people to have a seat at the table to understand what happens behind the scenes and how they can drive progress.
There was what I call a secondary benefit, and I once said this at a meeting that I had to speak to. When I came here in the 70s and I started sitting on boards of directors, you would see the same people.
Yeah.
You're on board A. You're term limited off that board and you go to board B because a lot of us, we were active in the community and supported various things, and you'd see the same people. And it was like this rotating crew that you'd see on board to board to board to board, and very few new faces. Then the leaderships program came along, and all of a sudden you were seeing new faces. And because of the continuation of the leadership program, now today, people can choose the board to be on that meets their desires and likes and dislikes and all that stuff. And they don't have to rotate around because there's enough people filling these positions.
And it's so important to engage new people, to get fresh ideas, fresh perspective, ensure that we are having a table wide enough to invite new people in, the next generation of leaders or young professionals. But you're right. I didn't know anything about board of directors or community involvement prior to going through Leadership Bay County. And that's how I got exposed to my very first board I sat on, was going through leadership. And to understand that these groups need volunteers and support and ideas
and fresh eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're always looking.
So, Emily, you're in the leadership class right now, right?
Yep.
So what got you into it?
So I don't live in Bay County, so it's really interesting to me to be able to learn more about the area that I work in, to understand some of the groups that we do work with professionally, some of the people that are in other groups that I'm a part of. I'm part of like the Morning Rotary group in Bay City, learning a little bit more about what they do. I have a deep desire to do service work, to get involved in the community. And you mentioned Serena's Johnson. We care a lot about our community and want to give back, and to be able to have that sort of opportunity it's just really neat, to get to meet other people in our area that are kind of striving for the same things, or just to learn who's who is really useful. It's really neat, and it's a lot of fun.
So what's your responsibility as marketing chair for the Leadership Bay County?
There's a lot. So we have created like the flyers that go out when we have.
Back up to the project.
Yeah. So talking about like sharing the project as a whole.
Yeah. Because it's the committee. Like talk about what the committee is. So we have the leadership program, but then.
Yeah. So our committee, like I have a team of 8 or 10 different people, and we have to.
All from the leadership class.
Yes. And our duty is to inform the community about our project. We go and we share in different areas like this. We've been to several different community groups and presented our project.
So you say a project, and every leadership class that I've ever seen has always had a community project.
Yep.
How did you pick it, and what did you pick?
So the Bay Area community, the Chamber Foundation, presented us with 3 separate proposals, and our group as a whole were able to take them home. We review them. We kind of see what has the biggest community impact, what has the best longevity. Is it going to impact the most people, and is there a plan for it to stay sustainable so that there's not an extra burden on who wants to do it for years to come, so there's not extra funding that needs to go into it after this. And the United Way they're an anchor group in our community, and they are trying to serve the unmet need of childcare centers in our area. There's like 400 plus kids that don't have childcare placement. They're in the very early stages of developing a childcare program. And one of the requirements is that they have outdoor play. So they are expanding the Winona Park playground to offer 0 to 3-year-olds play structures. We're going to fence it in, which is also a huge benefit. And you don't have to be someone who has a kid in daycare for it.
So what's the responsibility of the leadership group toward this project?
We are fundraising for those playground equipment pieces, for the fencing, for the site work that goes into it. We are raising awareness for the campaign. We're currently gathering silent auction donations for the upcoming Bay Area Chamber of Commerce annual meeting. All of the benefits from the silent auction go right towards our project and will fund the playground equipment.
How long do you have to do it?
We start fundraising at the beginning of January, and the actual fundraiser is this month. It's March 19th.
But they'll accept donations all the way through the project done.
Well, yeah. Organizations like that always accept donations.
Yeah, we don't have an end date really, but that's our major fundraiser for it.
Yeah.
So.
All right, we'll take a break, come back with our guests, and we will do that right after these notes.
My name is Angie Guja. I've been an
changing digital landscape with more ways to.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. In studio with me, Megan Saman. She is the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce President and CEO. Also with us, a member of Leadership Bay County's class currently and the marketing chair for them. Works for Serena's Johnson, and she is Emily Woodruff. So, other than this project, we'll come back to the project for United Way. What, Emily, have you learned in the class, and any surprises?
I've learned a lot. There's a lot.
How long has it been going? When did this class start?
Our first session, was in September. We meet once a month. So we've had different focuses. The first one is the transportation. That's probably the most impactful one to me, is you experience day in the life of somebody who might not have the luxuries that you do, like a vehicle. And we're challenged to go around Bay County. And downtown Bay City, if you don't know Bay City, you might not know that taxi cabs are not prevalent. There's not a lot of alternate types of transportation. We could phone a friend for one single ride between stops. Actually, Megan was ours. She dropped in the middle of some family chaos and picked us up. And then we had to walk. And our group walked probably 4 miles that day. Some of us not as capable of walking as others, and we felt it the next day. And it was really, really mind-boggling. We had to take the Metro bus for one stop and just learned a little bit more gratitude for the things that we take for granted, and saw the city and the area through some other people's eyes. And we lucked out because we were downtown. Others were in more spaced out parts of Bay County, had more challenges than we did even. And that, I think, has been the most eye-opening. We've met with like the Human Needs and Services. The rescue mission came in and spoke. United Way. I can't think of all of the names right now, but just the different ways that people are served in all of the background work that happens that you don't even think twice about. You know it happens. You don't know who does it. You hear the stories, and it's really neat to know what goes on every day.
Yeah, some of the leadership programs used to have a media day because I taught a couple of them. It was pretty interesting to go in and talk about the media.
Yeah.
Because, eventually most of the people in these classes, one way or another, will end up dealing with the media.
Mm-hmm. That would be a neat thing. I see Megan writing it down.
I
so
did.
That would be really neat.
I know I opened my mouth.
Art, you're up next on our leadership program.
Be happy to.
Yeah.
And so the class goes how long?
Our graduation is in July.
So you went from September to you're 9 months in school and then the graduation. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Once a month?
Yep.
And how long is the class when you're there?
It's an all-day class. It's 1 day a month, and then we're there from 8 in the morning till 5 in the evening.
So is this something, I'm sure yours did, but is this something that the employer sponsors for you?
Yes. Yes. Most, I would think that
How
all
do you
of
get
them
selected
do.
to go? Is it the employer that selects you?
No, the chamber does. You submit an application. I think that applications are about to open, aren't they?
They will, yeah.
Applications open soon. You fill out, a small packet. You kind of share your involvement, what you're interested in for it, how your company is involved in the chamber a little bit, if you have any connection to it or what you're looking to gain from it. And then there's a committee that will review all the applicants, and then you find out in August-ish if you've been selected. And
then you get your employer to write the check.
yeah.
We
You
take
go
up-
knocking on the door.
We take up to 25 individuals each year with a goal to ensure that, it's large enough where they can work together and do the class project, but also small enough where they can get into all the tours and have the dialogue and the discussion and really make it an impactful class.
So let's go back. You kind of ran through them quickly in the beginning, but what do they learn in leadership? So let's start with day one. First class. What are they going to hear about?
Well, day one on the first day, they're actually doing the retreat, and they're learning about themselves and their communication styles, and they're learning about how to deal with people with different backgrounds. They do a DISC assessment. There's a lot of bonding and a lot of teamwork.
Yeah, you kind of have to learn how to work with different people of different behavior, personality styles. You're intentionally placed with people who you're intentionally placed with people who are in different, settings than you are, different categories than you are. We had to plan a trip anywhere we wanted in the world with an unlimited budget kind of thing. And we had 9 people in our group. So just think about trying to make that happen. Every single group had a different answer. Everyone had a different destination. Some of them set budgets. Some of them rented cars, and it just kind of shows you how different people think and shows you it's funny when it's done. You're like, no, the D's, the direct communicators, they just said, this is what I want to do, and this is what we're going to do, and this is how it is. And they said, okay, and they were done in about a minute and a half. And then I don't remember all of the different types, but the ones that are a little bit less aggressive, the indirect, they all had opinions and opportunities.
Do you learn after the D's say, well, this is what I want to do, and this is what we're going to do, and here's how we're going to do it, do you learn to say no?
So I'm a D. So it's a hard question. That's my number 2. But you learn how to deal with that. If you're not somebody who's used to dealing with somebody who is so direct, or you have somebody who is very much like, this is just how it is and this is what you do, you learn the tools and how to approach them and get an answer, or when to not approach them.
It's an interesting, Megan will laugh at this. It's interesting because there are 2 D's that you have to learn to deal with. Directness is okay when you say, this is what I want to do. Mm-hmm. The other D is dominance when you say, we're going to do this.
Yes.
No. I don't deal with that.
Yeah.
Directness, I'm fine with directness because I'd rather somebody be direct with me so I know what's on their mind rather than beat around the bush and try and appease me and be nice and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just don't tell me I have to do it your way.
Exactly.
Megan's smiling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's fun to watch because each year we have a different cohort that comes through with different personalities and different ideas. And it's really fun to watch from when they start from the first class of breaking down the barriers and meeting each other all the way through towards the end to graduation, where you really do have this bond. I mean, 20 years later, I'm still close with a lot of my classmates and we keep in touch. We see each other. It's just a really great bond.
The program been around that long?
Oh, it's been around since the 80s, the 1980s.
Really? I
Yes.
guess that's right. I don't remember when I did Saginaw's, but it was way back.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that each one of our chambers in our region do a leadership program because, as you said, it brings new ideas and new eyes to the table. It invites other people to be part of it. And more importantly, it's creating all these ambassadors, so to speak, of our communities. And it pushes back on the idea that they will come do it. Well, who is they? They is us. And so it really brings people awareness of what happens in our community. And more importantly, if you want to see something happen, how does it happen? And it gives the tools and the resources.
And then there's the Regional Alliance, which
Yes.
also does one.
Yeah. And I went through that in
I
2012.
was going to say, because a lot of the people that have been through the
Yep.
individual county ones all of a sudden go to that one too.
And it's an incredible program as well. We believe that as a region, we're stronger when we work together.
Well,
that
absolutely.
County lines are just lines on a map. And we know how important it is to be able to access the resources and the talent and the restaurants. And I could go on and on. I love my friends over in Saginaw and at Midland and over in Mount Pleasant. Our Great Lakes Bay region and beyond is incredible.
Do the chambers work together?
We do very closely. I just had lunch with Eugene and Patrick and Tony about 2 weeks ago. We meet often to talk about collaboration, to talk about ways that we can do things together. We collaborated a lot when it came to things like the 35th District Senate seat. Yeah. We not only from the very first time when the seat was open to write a letter of saying we want this seat filled, all the way till now, we jointly came together and held interviews with the candidates. We're working with SVSU to do a candidate we We're continuing to collaborate where it makes sense.
Yeah. I had the first one on yesterday. I'll have 2 more.
Wonderful.
So we had the Republican yesterday. I'll do the Democrat and do the Libertarian.
Great.
So it's
It's so important.
that was a travesty on this area.
Yes.
I don't care how you look at it, but it's over. It's got to get done. So anyway, take a break, come back with our guests. We talk about Leadership Bay and more here on the Art Lewis Show. Let me take a moment to talk about my friends at Quick Lane Freeland. It's your one stop for all your automotive routine maintenance needs, anything from oil changes right through tires. And speaking of tires, of course, they sell all their tires at just $5 over cost. And you've heard us been talking this winter about tires and about the difference between all-season tires and winter tires, because there is a difference. And I've asked John from Quick Lane Freeland to describe that difference for us.
Hello, Art. Yes, winter tires are made with a pliable rubber compound that includes silica to stay flexible and maintain grip in freezing temperatures, unlike harder all-season tires which stiffen and lose traction in the cold. This flexible compound allows the tire to better conform to the road surface, providing superior grip and traction on snow and ice to keep you safe.
Which is the important thing, John, keeping everybody safe. Stop in today to Quick Lane Freeland on the McDonald Ford property. While you're there getting your routine maintenance or your new tires, take a look at the complete lineup of Ford products from McDonald Ford, and also their pre-owned lot with an extensive collection of cars to meet any budget. It all happens on their property, McDonald Ford and Quick Lane Freeland. These are two names standing ready to help you with your automotive needs in 2026.
Retirement is more than
of our business community step up and make donations for people to bid on. And so, as I always tell my husband, it's a win-win because I'm helping whatever the class project is that year. And then I'm winning because I'm getting really great stuff, usually at a great deal. So I love a silent auction. And this is one of the best.
The husband recognized the second part of it. I understand. Is that where you also do your awards?
It is.
Chamber awards?
Yes.
I'm looking at the list. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, from our Athena Award with Lori Carroll from Harbor Light, our Business Hall of Fame, which is Emily's boss, Bill Woolwine, a dynamic individual. Our
From Serena's Johnson.
From Serena's
Just happens to
Johnson,
be,
yeah. Our leadership. So we have an award called Leadership Alumni Community Service Award, and it recognizes an individual who had graduated the program who invests in the community. This year, the recipient is Ali Smith, and he has done a tremendous amount of work with the MBP, the Minority Business Partnership, and Maplewood Park. And we're going to be highlighting that amazing contribution this year. We also have the Small Business Excellence Award going to Winelander Fitzhugh for all of the volunteerism that their community or their organization does in the community every year.
Ambassador of the Year.
Ambassador of the Year is going to Dave Neal, who does amazing work with BT Tech.
He's also in Leadership Bay County.
Yes.
Energize YPN, the youth.
Maddie Patton from the Jerky
Outlet.
Outlet, and she is a dynamic young professional who is very energized, no pun intended, but
Heart
she
of the
does
Chamber Award?
Heart of the Chamber is our favorite award to give, and I know that's hard to say because all these awards are so amazing, but the Heart of the Chamber Award is a staff voted award. It's the only one that's completely voted by every member of the staff, and this year it's going to Saginaw Valley State University. They're a huge partner of ours in whether it's our business and education partnership, our advocacy, just so many ways that SVSU is impactful in our chamber and in our region.
And the Nonprofit Achievement Award.
Is going to the Bay Area Community Foundation. This is the inaugural award. This is a new award we added on this past year to recognize a nonprofit who does so much. And the Bay Area Community Foundation, Shauna Walraven, through her work and supporting so many different organizations, we're just really excited to celebrate the success of every one of these award recipients this year.
Yeah, chambers hand out a lot of awards. But
Yes.
they're always special. I mean, I've gotten a couple from the chamber, and they have a prominent place on my shelf.
Well, we appreciate it because when we talk about the Chamber of Commerce, what we're really talking about is the business community.
Right.
We have over 600 businesses representing over 30,000 employees in the Bay Area and beyond. And the work that we do is truly the business community doing the work. It's the nonprofits,
So-
the labor organization, the educational systems. It's all of us together.
So how is membership compared to pre-COVID, COVID now?
Yeah. What we're seeing as a trend across the nation is that memberships in general have going down, whether that's chambers, service organizations, and whatnot. We know that kind of post-COVID memberships have been down. We've been very fortunate that we have a sustainability of not only our legacy members who've been around with us for decades. We're 144 years old, our chamber is. And since 1882, we've been around. And while we continue to get new members, and we always welcome that, we're really proud of our longstanding businesses who have been engaged, involved, and make that fabric of our community strengthen. Because we always say our chamber is people, partnerships, and progress. We are conveners. We bring people together. We do impactful things together, but it's not us by ourselves. It's truly the members, the volunteers, our board members that get engaged and make things happen.
All right, one more break, and then we'll come back and finish up with our guests this morning after these notes. All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show. In studio with me, Emily Woodruff. She is in Leadership Bay County right now, and she is the marketing chair, works for Serena Johnson. Serenas Johnson. Megan Saman's with us, the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce president and CEO. You also have an interim title now. You're busy, aren't you?
I am busy, yes.
Good for you.
Fun things.
So, your project to raise money for the Y Playground for the 0 to 3-year-olds. If somebody wants to donate, what do they need to do?
You can mail checks to the Bay Area Chamber Foundation. You can participate by giving us a gift basket, gift cards to places, something that we can auction off at our silent auction. We have the Bay ISD kids are building deer blinds that they'll put in our auction, and we're going to auction those off. We have some people who have overnight stays to local organizations, different hotels, different suites, things like that. The Bookmobile from the library is donating a day on that. Lots of really neat experiences.
Do we know how much this playground's going to cost?
Our estimate is around $30,000 right now.
Well, you're in reasonable territory then.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the stratosphere.
No, and we have some really great partners who have already committed to, like Shaw Excavating. They're doing the Shaw Contracting. They're doing all of the excavation site work. Serenas Johnson is doing all the temporary fencing. There's a lot of partners that have already committed some of the labor work.
In-kind services.
Yeah, and then even the playground equipment distributor, they're allowing us to do a community build. So their CEO will come out with a small team and they'll teach us how to do the installation. So it still fits within all of the rules and regulations of safety codes. And then the actual community gets to install these pieces. And that also saves us about $15,000. So it's really neat that we'll actually have our hands on the pieces of equipment going in the park.
So leadership classes, what's left to learn? What are your topics that still have to be chewed over?
Tomorrow we are talking about education.
Good luck.
Yeah, it'll be good. Then we have a public safety and legal system, arts and culture, and then the natural resources one will be the final one.
You doing a police ride-along?
Megan has to tell me. I have no idea.
They don't do a police ride along, but maybe we can talk to Caleb Rowell and see if we can make that happen.
Convince him.
Yeah.
Saginaw, I think, does. I'm not positive.
No, that'd be amazing. No, what they do is they go into and talk with different leaders on the Sheriff's Department and Bay City Department of Public Safety, and they get to talk about the different teams that they have and all things happening. They tour the jail. It's a pretty robust day. Back in my day when I did it, we got to shoot the less than lethal weapon. We lifted fingerprints, all sorts of really neat things. And each year they evolve it and change it to ensure it stays fresh. But we are very fortunate to have, whether it's our Bay County Sheriff's Department or our Bay City Department of Public Safety, incredible support systems for safety.
And what's coming up for the chamber?
Well, on top of our chamber annual meeting that we're
Which, by the way, is that open
for.
to the public?
Anybody is welcome to
How much?
attend. I
think it's $65 a person.
Is that what it's about, right?
Yeah, it's a dinner plated meal.
Right.
Yeah, thank you for
I
that.
think so.
Yeah, and information's on our website. Certainly anybody is welcome to reach out to us. But our chamber's been incredibly busy. We just came off our State of the Community event where we had our city, our county, and our townships provide great updates about things that are happening. We have our State of the State coming up in May, talking about what's happening at the local and the state level and how that impacts our business community.
Without a senator.
Without a senator. This is our second one, our second State of the State in a row
It'll be the
without a
last.
senator. I hope so. We're very excited to have that seat filled. And then our youth leadership graduation is coming up. So on top of an adult leadership Bay County program, we are one of the only chambers in the state that has a youth leadership Bay County program focusing on juniors in high school. It's similar to what the adults go through, but a shrunk down program. It's about 4 months. It's January through April. And it's an incredibly impactful program for the youth in our community to know that we want to hear their voice. We want them to be at the table. We want them to stay involved and engaged in our community. And we hope that they're ambassadors to their friend groups about why Bay County and the Great Lakes Bay region is an amazing place.
Well, listen, to good luck, Emily. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Good luck with your leadership class and your marketing responsibilities,
Thank you.
and Serenus Johnson besides.
Thank you.
Megan, always a pleasure.